There are some changes near the top of our Pro Football Weekly power rankings. Dan, number 2, the Baltimore Ravens now just behind the Packers, and number 5, the New Orleans Saints. But you had it flip-flopped a little bit. You have the Saints as the number 2 team in the league.
Both teams coming off pretty impressive wins, the Ravens and Saints. Ravens beating the Niners, Saints beating the Giants, absolutely blowing them out, making them look like the Colts at times. But you ask a lot of questions. Let me ask you, who's been the more dominant team of late? Why? I think there's a reason for me to put the Saints.
Well, I'm biased. I'm going to go with the Saints because I picked them to go to the Super Bowl this year. So I'm going to say, especially coming off that performance, they're to the team. But
I mean, look at New Orleans averaging 114 more yards per game than Baltimore, 8 more points per game than Baltimore. Only 3 weeks ago, Baltimore lost to Seattle. I mean, the Saints have taken their lumps. They did lose to the Rams this season, but in the past 3 weeks, I think the Saints have really come on and looked like a dominant team, looked more like the team we saw in 2009 when they won the Super Bowl. To me, they're the second best team in the league.
It almost seems like no one separated themselves after the Packers. Really, the next 4 or 5 teams you could almost have in any order. At 13, the Chicago Bears drop a few spots coming off the loss, and I think more than anything, it's just an indication of how people feel about their quarterback situation.
Yeah, the question going forward for them is whether Caleb Haney can cut down on mistakes. 3 interceptions isn't going to get it done. The thing that gives Bears fans hope going forward is 3 of their last 5 opponents ranked 21st or lower. If they can win 3 of those games, I think they can even win maybe 4 of those games. The Broncos are on the schedule too, and I think the Bears could beat them if Haney cuts down on mistakes. So they're still a team that can win 10, 11 games before the season's over, and I think that should be enough for them to get into the playoffs.
It also helps that, I mean, they hung with the Raiders, who were probably a playoff team or looking like a playoff team, despite the fact that Haney had 3 picks. All the way down at number 24 now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What a disappointment this season's been. Every time they start to play better like they did against the Packers, they take a step back like they did this week.
Yeah, losing to the Titans this past week. They've lost 5 in a row now. Their defensive line is just getting blown off the ball. The Bucs are allowing 161 rushing yards per game over their past 7 games. You can't win many games when you're not stopping the run. And this team is very young, as we know, but we didn't think it was this bad. Really a collapse for them over the past 5 games.
People expected them to take the leap this year from a 10-6 team last year. Maybe they would compete for a division title. Hasn't happened. It's been a serious step back. Those are our power rankings. You can see the full list at ProFootballWeekly.com.